but that makes
So
sense.
that's like kind of.
Yeah.
So this is how I know it, and you
Oh, yeah.
can barely see, there's a hydrangea on the top, right?
You're like a David Lynch.
I think they'd just be great just with the dragon wing and begonias and.
Yeah, you need something like really tall and like I've seen some like they do like big tall allocations.
Yeah, I've got some allocations, but
Or I have like
it's
a
started in time for
bird
that.
hair.
He's not that short, he's a Rottweiler, but he's not as tall as the Great Dane.
There's a Rottweiler that lives in my neighborhood, and my cat loves dogs, and the bigger the better. And we were outside one day, and this was the first time they were, and he just like sprinted at this dog. And I was like, we don't know him yet. And my cat, he loves dogs. Yeah. Oh my God, look how precious.
That's my Rottweiler, and that's my Great Dane. My puppies, my Rottweiler, and my Great Dane. I was babysitting someone's puppy.
Unfortunately, Rube did not get to make friends with the
And that's why I was
Rottweiler.
babysitting.
It was a new dog, so he was like, I don't know how to react.
Well, Bear's
So we'll see.
Bear mine's Rottweiler, he's kind of a commandant when it comes to other dogs and stuff. He's like, they have to behave. Like when we got back, yeah, our Great Dane, he was really dog reactive, so we'd go to the dog park and he would bark at the fence of the other dogs. And Bear would go over and grab him and pull him away from the fence. He'd tell him to knock it off. Matt could turn and like snap at him and Bear would like, don't you snap at me. Is it Great Pyrenees that you have? We played with one yesterday. She was really nice. She didn't care about the dogs at all.
They can be pretty, although it's funny, there are certain dogs in the neighborhood, they will go crazy. Besides motorcycles.
I feel like they come over and
trucks.
probably talk shit too,
Yeah.
right?
It's like,
Because you have them on tie-outs sometimes, right?
well,
Or
they're on electric fence.
electric fence, so yeah. So they can see around that one
Yes.
side though, right?
Somebody's walking down the other side,
You see all
I feel like the dogs are, other dogs are talking shit, right, sometimes.
so they're kind of,
I'm always telling my dogs when we're walking and other dogs are like, oh, that's right in the yards and stuff. Because sometimes you can tell those dogs never get along.
Jessica got a little chihuahua, long-haired chihuahua that she got from, I don't know, but anyway. So we'll walk her along, don't see it, and really kept going to this overhang. So, this is like at 8 o'clock at night, so we go to the emergency room at 2:30 in the morning, which there's never anybody there, and she gets a stitch, and it turned into, so then she's like, I don't want this dog. And, of course, the dog's with us behaving, I finally said, you know what, you gotta change your attitude, he was scared, he didn't know, he didn't do it on purpose, so he's doing a little better now, but she said, he got out last night, she dropped the leash and he took off, it scared him, and he did come back, but he's been a little scared, so.
She's just really scared, right? Because, and then when you grab it up, it's scared, they bite it.
They do, and he wasn't really, I was just trying to get him where, you know, and she would have let me, he probably would have been okay, but her first instinct was to,
Try to help you, yeah.
yeah, it's like, I got this, I got this. But Lily was great, she's like, you know, cruising around, she did.
I think it's always easier to bring a dog that knows how to come back to go find another dog that doesn't come, right? Because I had one dog one time, I was helping out a friend, and her dog took off. And we went looking And it was a Great Dane, so it was hard to,
Hard
like, I didn't
yeah.
know Great Danes like I know Great Danes now, but at the time I was like, oh, he doesn't come back when you call him, so I said, come on, Nadia. And I took my dog, and I had a convertible Mustang at the time.
I have
so
a
thought I
treasure
could get in my
report.
convertible
Yeah.
Mustang, that's too small.
I see it on
So
here,
I-
but
Took
Well, but I added in the numbers.
I said, Nadia, go get it, right? And so she ran over.
Yeah,
and he came up to me, and then I leashed
For
him
the
up, but then I
828?
had to drive home
Yeah.
with him walking beside
Oh,
my
yeah.
car.
Mine did the
It's
same.
the funniest thing, right? But I was like, he couldn't fit.
I had a dog before I came here.
Big Great Dane.
Yeah.
And so I had
Got
to
rid of
like,
this,
it was
like-
a stick too, so it was like this crazy, like, thing. And I
maybe,
think that was.
That might have been
So
my
if you Google dog, it should automatically save and update.
yeah, that might have been my fault.
Oh, Google Maps.
Oh, no, you're right. I have the wrong date. No, I know. I made the wrong date. I made the one for accident.
Oh, it says 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You are on, you opened up.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Rebecca was coming, but I guess maybe not. I think it's the only-
Yeah, she talked like she was going to do that.
I'm pretty sure these are dredgy. I'm almost positive.
Oh, see,
Yeah, but I don't know how long they're good for, because they're probably 4 years old.
Well,
no, because I just tried to germinate some that were like 2 or 3 years old, and I had no germination on it.
Yeah, I know in Fort Worth, when I lived in Fort Worth, a lot of my stuff died. A lot of the seeds died, it was so hot there. But my husband keeps our house like refrigerator.
Well, I can use an example when we're like trying to sort and tell
if-
seeds are good or something.
If you just don't know, so I had a while back ordered some from the Begonia Society,
Uh-huh.
and they sent me a separate batch of old seeds. And
Like as a
just
free
for
bonus?
free.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then they have tips for starting old seeds, they
Okay.
sent me this thing. But something about,
Like cold stratification or something.
well, it says, given the age of these seeds, it might be best that they misted application of calcium nitrate,
Huh.
55 to 60 parts per milligram in distilled water, applied 2 weeks after the last germination or 3 to 4 weeks after sowing. If no germinations, could increase germinations. This method greatly increased Borneo bee germinations on 2 occasions. Also misting with a dilute solution of cubic acid at the time of sowing should increase germinations. It's not a fertilizer, so the general prohibition against fertilizing until 10 to 14 days post germination is not violated.
Your those instructions are on the replacement.
Yeah.
Well, we can put them
I haven't seen or heard that before.
Well, this is tips for by Randy Kerr, but like I said, they actually sent it from the society.
No, yeah, I remember getting like something basic
Yeah.
instructions, but I already had it downloaded, but I haven't read that.
Take
Yeah.
pictures.
So,
I can take a picture of it and then scan the text and put it online.
Jessica, yeah, she's not coming because she's well stressed out with her dog. She's like, okay, all right, I got you, I got
alright.
you.
Well, it's about to be 4 o'clock, so we might as well get started. There was something I need to clear up, but go ahead and start with the treasurer's report.
We got $551 in the bank account, but I still have money to deposit. We got, Janelle and I got $92 from like the plants, Harmony plants at the Greater Ohio Market. I think we put in some of the other sales stuff into that too. And then I got $20 new members, Rebecca King, she's been with us before, she paid. And then my friend Valerie, who I get from the Austin one, she bought a begonia for me and she just sent me money to join it. She's a member of like 4 ABS branches, so she's just like supporting us.
All right.
So that's like $112 to add, so like, brings us up to about $660, so doing all right. We still have a bunch of the Harmony begonias to sell, other stuff.
What's a bunch?
The Harmony ones, I mean, I still have like a tray of the Rhizomatous. It's like maybe, is that a 4x4 tray, like 16? And then I've got like a tray or two of the, and you have a tray of canes, right? The Harmony canes.
I probably have like the bigger one, because I think I got some of the ones you had. What are the trays?
Yeah, I think you got a
Which is fine.
tray,
Yeah,
I
you
got
got
a
a tray, which is fine.
so.
But,
And plus we have our own propagations and
yeah, so.
so we're thinking, I mean, we're still waiting to hear from the Orchid Society what their vendor fee's gonna be like, to explore that, or we can just do this Greater Ohio pop-up again, building indoors, build indoor sales in
Yeah, they have
October,
all
November.
winter, so. Could maybe,
We just kinda wanna get rid of more so we don't have to overwinter so many. And more money for us.
What was the name of the very last one you
The
said?
pop-up?
Yeah.
It's called Greater Ohio Market. It's just kind of like a group of local, like at-home plant growers, sellers. So they've kind of organized to do the monthly pop-ups, and summer that's outside in the parking lot of Indoor Gardens, which is like the hydroponics store here. And they do it in winter, but like they haven't found like a steady venue, so it's always changed. But I think they're trying to get more steady with like the Dublin Rec Center or
Yeah.
something.
and they have, besides plants, like they have.
Some other, like, other
pots, and
homemade
they
plant
sell
stuff.
terrariums and shelves, and it's a nice mix of different stuff.
And like the vendor fee is just like a flat $25, so
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
Okay.
That is nice.
I
And
think
you
that,
guys took more limited by percentage, right? Like percentage of what you sell because.
yeah, because like the Cactus Society, that's like 20% of sales, or same with the Chadwick Arboretum is 20% of your sales. I think the Orchid Society is a flat $100.
Yeah.
At least that's what it was last year, so we're gonna see if that's the case.
Okay.
It's told you about my great obsession, if you guys wanna get up there for the last few days. Good on this. I don't know, any other branch?
So what did I was gonna ask about everybody's thoughts on the visit yesterday, but that's not part of the treasure, so never mind. We'll wait.
I'm done with the treasurer report.
Yeah, we can go right into that. That was on the
Oh,
list.
but I guess the one thing, I do have to submit our national, it's like the annual branch survey. I have it almost filled out, so I just need to send that in. Well, send it in on time, so don't focus about it. And then we did get an email about the Begonian holiday issue where they want us, so I think we'll just donate $50 again,
Sure.
just, which is more than like half the branches do, so I
Yeah.
think it's just good to do that. And then I assume we'll want to do cuttings from the Fort Worth event again this fall. So that's like 100, I think we do 150, 50 to kind of cover the overnight shipping and then $100 donation.
And that is in contact with who? Like who's the contact for that?
What's his face? Glenn, Taddy, yeah, I had an old email chain, I just kind of re-up so I think we usually do that in October.
Yeah.
Cause that's better for them, so they don't have to like ship, cause they're in Texas, so it's better for them to ship when it's not hot, but they overnight them, so it's not like a big,
Yeah.
although mine came late, it wasn't a bit of everything. So yeah, we can reach out, so if you guys, we can kind of create a wish list, we may or may not, but you know, we can create a wish list of stuff to send them. And then who knows, maybe we'll get cuttings also from the German Plaza.
Do you think she would give cuttings?
I think, yeah, because I kind of casually mentioned like, hey, if you're ever, because I know they like have to, they prune them every now and then, like, I don't think they get that many requests for like, begonia. So Because I know from the previous grad students, they're like, yeah, there's always just like piles of begonia cuttings we see in the compost pile that we've rescued some. So I was just gonna be like, hey, if you ever have any, here's my number. I can be right here to pick them up or something.
We'll help you through.
Yeah. And there's also a guy who runs the heirloom hybrid canes. He's in New York. I forget his name. He's on my Facebook. But I've always wanted to reach out to him because I think in fall when he brings all the gummies inside, he does like major
I
pruning.
know, he runs the Canesville's at Walter.
Yeah, I think so.
Working.
Yeah, he's a big.
Yeah.
He's like an old guy. He's been in begonias a long
Yeah,
time.
and he has a site.
And I think he's in charge of like the heirloom cane preservation or he lives in New York. So I was like, I want to reach out to DM and be like, hey, whenever you're pruning all your canes in fall, we could send you some shipping money and like a donation to the fund that owns those cuttings.
We should probably do a Facebook post to the group too that says, hey, when you're bringing in your begonias, let's go ahead and plan to cut them all back when you bring them in and to bring them to the meeting in October.
So like a giant cutting swap.
swap kind of thing at the same time. That'd be.
The other thing is I don't think we have this spot. We have to do it like someone's home or find another place.
In the November.
No, I don't think we have I think this is only through September here. I think they cut it back, it's just through September. So if we want like a bigger room like this, we can maybe find like, rent out one of the library, the space of the library or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
if
reserve spot in the library.
you scope out a couple of places and see something interesting, just let me know. Since I don't live down here, so.
Yeah, I think there's probably library spaces we can get free.
We might want to check too, I mean, I don't know what's around here, but there's this car dealership called Echo Park in Colorado and in California. I think they're in Texas too. And they have a community room that they let organizations use. So it's kind of nice to try like car dealerships and things like that, because typically they have a big meeting room and nobody's ever using it.
Not been in a long time, so.
Yeah.
Or like, I think, yeah, there's also like churches that sometimes,
Churches typically charge you though.
but yeah, unless you're like a member, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it might not be very much. That the church that the African Violet Society uses is really, really nice.
Yeah, it's like almost here.
It's pretty nice, and I guess the people there are super, super nice, the lady that helps them out. The other thing I was wondering is, in the fall, the African Violet Society has their meetings during the day in the main building of the Botanical Gardens, so like where you pay when you go in.
Oh, like they were able to negotiate, right, they met during a weekday or something?
Yeah, they do it on Mondays in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it's on Saturdays. And I was wondering how that went, like, do they have the room for the whole day? Or what?
Hey, how are they allowed to have,
What?
so they have meetings like
Saturdays during the day, like from 10.
Oh, because well, when we got the like sign up for the past couple years for the plant societies here, like it used to be like January through October, and now it's like January through September, just 'cause they're like, well, we need all the spaces for all the parties or. I don't know how many like weddings, they're not doing, I don't get it, like, I know they have some like holiday stuff, but it's not like they're doing weddings in maybe October, but not.
These are like the education rooms right behind
Yeah,
the sign-in desk. I mean,
well, that's where we used to be.
That's where, yeah, you wouldn't want that for a wedding. I mean,
No.
it's not.
No.
Yeah, but I don't know, I don't know why we can't use those in winter, like why they're limiting us to just, and how African
I
Violet.
don't know, but the African Violet Society uses them. And I was wondering if we wanted to maybe tag in with them, if like, for instance, if they're renting that room and they have it like all day or half the day or something, if we wanted to like when they're
Yeah.
leaving, start our meeting there during, to save some money or something, or see if there's something.
So they're paying extra to do it at the time?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. But it just seems like if we could,
Well, I was thinking we should maybe have a mid-year officer meeting, check-in, just to kind of get on the same page with the rest of the year meetings and program, like kind of map everything out for the rest of the year. Is that something y'all wanna do over Zoom or something?
but with this few of people, honestly, we could meet at a restaurant, right?
Well, I
You know?
mean, to be fair, I'm not coming down here for a 15, 20-minute meeting, so Zoom would be a better option.
Wait, we're just talking about the officer meeting, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about all meetings, right? I mean,
Yes.
for this size of a group, it really.
I don't know if they want us to bring in all the dirt to a restaurant table and plants out everywhere.
Anyway, yeah, that's something we absolutely can do. I wrote it in the wrong document, but I did write that down today. Yeah, so moving on, what folder is the,
You go to the member resources,
uh,
My Drive, member resources, growing begonias. And then there's the slide deck for begonia pollination and seed collecting. Which I think, did you guys all, for my begonia pollination thing last year? I don't know if you were gonna answer that. I think you know how to do it.
Yeah. When they did that big tour and they let everybody
Gave a
broadcast it
demonstration.
everywhere, yeah, I was the one doing the pollinating and that.
So I'll just kind of go through, I guess, you still guys want me to go quickly as a review?
Yeah, because yeah.
Going to the first page of the begonia parts, just so we can identify. So the petals are called tepals?
peoples?
Oops, and then
Oh, sorry.
the male flowers have the stamens, which kind of look like the fuzzy pom-pom. The female flower has styles, which look like the curly Q. Pipe cleaners, and it has a big ovary behind it. And I'll send out an email, this all to you guys, and you should have access, but if you can't, you can request access. They're in our member resources drive. And then the next slide, there is some variance in styles and stigmas and begonias. You can go to the next slide here. So this is just a different one, and we go to the next slide, shows a cross section of some different ovaries. And then the next page, so with begonias and other plants, dioecious means that if it's a dioecious begonia, you have plants are only going to produce male flowers or female flowers, not both. It's only about 20 begonia species. One of the common ones is Burkillii. So it's kind of, I think the common one is like the male flower one. So if you want like pure Burkillii seeds, you kind of got to find a female one, which can be hearts, and so many of them are basically clone propagations. But most of the begonias are the monoecious, meaning they produce male and female flowers, just often not at the same time. Usually the male flowers come out first. The fruit bears is the fertilized ovary that contains seeds. Ovule is an immature unfertilized seed. Propagule is a seed, or can technically mean a vegetative portion of the plant that can be like propagated. The next slide. Selecting begonias for cross for hybrids. If you want to get into that, experimenting with that. So these are kind of ordered, like for the most successful propagation, or most successful crosses where you're actually going to get viable seed of a hybrid. would be using two begonia species from the same section, so begonias are split up into different sections. For example, there's Petermania, which includes a lot of those Southeast Asian ones, like shrub species like Amphioxus, Melochosticta, Chloristicta, etc. Bromeliad mimosa, Darth Vaderiana, etc. There's some other ones there. So if you choose two species from that same section, you try to cross them, very good chance that you're gonna have a successful hybrid. Another one is just choosing two begonias with the same number or similar number of chromosome, which there is a chart someone created. So I gotta see if I saved it or if I can find it. Someone does have like a long chart of like all the main begonia species and their chromosome numbers. So that can be another factor for successful hybridization. If you don't have access to that, just using two begonias of the same type, either two canes or two shrub types, two rhizomatous or obviously, like there have been successful crosses between like a cane and a shrub, or a shrub and a rhizomatous. I don't think there's many successful crosses between like a rhizomatous and a cane. Of course, you can always just try two random begonias and cross your fingers, see. The next two slides are just examples of the male flowers, and then the female flowers with the ovaries behind it. So when you're selecting your male pollen flowers, you want to make sure that they've been open, usually for a couple days. When their anthers have detice, which just means the pollen's kind of ready to be released. You kind of tell by flicking the begonia, you'll sometimes see the little pollen cloud release, or just when that like pom-pom looks extra like fluffy and spread out, kind of, not like a tight up ball. It looks a little different on different begonias. If you're doing like high humidity, like begonias in a terrarium, that high humidity is going to make it harder for the pollen to release, just because like the pollen doesn't get to like dry as much. So I usually will pick those male flowers out and just set them aside in a dish outside the terrarium for a day or two to dry out a little. Avoid using flowers that have already dropped. I sometimes use it if I know that they were like freshly dropped and I don't see any brownish stuff on their anthers. But generally you should avoid it because there might be some fungus stuff on there. The next slide, or the next one, I'm on the pollination, next one. So you can release the pollen in a lot of ways. You can try to mimic like a bee or the vibrations of a bee or bee or fly by just flicking it with your finger. People use a metal tuning fork. There's a bee pollinator, little electric thing, toothbrush, any other handheld vibrating device. I always just kind of rub them on there and kiss. I don't even try to vibrate them or anything. This is more if you want to like release the pollen on like a piece of paper and then use like a little paintbrush to pick it up in hand. I just kind of take male flower, rub it on the female. So yeah, I do directly, or like say you can kind of release the pollen over like a piece of paper or like a clean dish, and using a clean small paintbrush, like a little watercolor brush or like a makeup brush that's clean. You want to select the female flowers should be also open for a few days, where the style stigmas are more kind of spread out, because they kind of when they first opens up they're a little bunched up, but then they spread out a little bit more. Get them all covered with pollen. It helps to have a couple extra. Usually there are a lot of extra male flowers pollen, especially if you've maybe been saving a few. For signs that the female flower has been successfully pollinated, the tepals kind of close up over the style stigmas, and usually they fall off within a few days. And then another telltale sign is the actual ovary. It will tuck up almost parallel to the stem that's holding it. Some are more dramatic and go like almost full parallel, but it should noticeably kind of tuck. And that's really a good sign that you've had successful fertilization. Now you just gotta wait for it to kind of, those seeds kind of need to mature in there. You're waiting for the fruit to fully ripen, which basically you're waiting for that ovary to kind of get noticeably dried out and kind of papery brown. Which kind of can be hard in a terrarium setting, which is, I sometimes have struggled with those, just kind of, I'm just waiting and then it just kind of like rots. So let it, ideally as long as possible, let it dry out on the plant if possible. With the terrarium, if it's been like a month or so, maybe trim it off and let it dry out in a dish. Harvesting the seeds. Unfortunately, I haven't really been pollinating any this year, so I don't have an example. But usually what I do is I guess we can get into the, when you have tear out the seeds, so you're gonna take your ovary, I usually use my fingers or like tweezers to just kind of tear it open and.
Do you wanna try one of these?
Actually, we can do that. And we'll have it straight. We'll see, and we'll do the test of rolling them down the paper to see if they're possibly viable. So I just, there, they all came out. I haven't used a jeweler's loop yet. So I do it kind of on the regular printer sheet of paper. I fold up like the bottom inch of the paper, increase it, and I kind of fold the sides and crease them. And this is just kind of creating little walls so they don't pull off the paper. You want to start them out on like the upper part of half of the paper. And now I kind of just gently lift up the paper. And the ones that really easily just roll down the paper, theoretically those are good viable seeds. The ones that kind of stuck up here, they probably didn't get fruit.
Oh, okay.
So the ones I have that now they're all the good ones are collected down in this crack, and now I can kind of gently so the recommended one I've gotten is use the True Weave, like hair weave papers, like tissue paper stuff.
Oh.
So you can get them off Amazon for like a box of 1,000 for a couple bucks. And you make a little packet, fold it in half, and then you kind of fold the sides over a couple times. I mean, this is just to store them in like an envelope, just because a regular kind of envelope, the gunner seeds are so they're going to get stuck or fall through. So I've kind of folded it all creased, kind of take it, open it up again. Now I can pour in my big begonia seeds. Okay, now I fold it back up following those creases I made before. Making sure all those begonia seeds are kind of staying in that center part. And I think this is how ABS still packages their seeds. Or maybe not, I don't know.
They use wax paper now.
Okay.
We have a folding sequence that I actually have that we have to use.
And then I fold down the top a couple times, give it a good crease, and then you use little glassine envelopes that are used for like stamp collectors use them to like store their fancy stamps in, which also you can buy. I'm just low, I think I ran out of new ones, but like this is the old ones. So it's just it's like a wax paper little envelope. So you can just stick this in, this one's empty. So I just then stick them in here. And then, you fold down the top a couple, and then I just use like masking tape or painter's tape to tape it shut. And then with a Sharpie or something, you can write what the species is or what you cross with. You might want to keep, if it's a hybrid, keep track, what was the pod parent, what was the pollen. I believe the pod parent goes, if you're writing across, the pod parent usually goes first, then X, the pollen parent. And then I just put the date, just like the month and the year that I collected them. If you're planning to sow, germinate them, like they're usually good for a year if they're room temperature. Probably if you want to store them longer, you should probably put them in something like the pill jar or some sort of like Tupperware kind of thing. You can also get like, like some of your like vitamins or pills come with those, whether they're those sachet setups or I forget what they're called.
It's just a kid.
Yeah, those things, throw one of those in there, put it in your fridge shelf to help keep them dry. So that's collecting seed, and and if you do have like a jeweler's loop or like microscope, you should see that the good seed, the ones that are viable, they're gonna be more rounder barrel shaped and a little bigger. And like these are just kind of little specks. They're not barrel shaped, so they don't like roll down paper as easily. So that's, I think, that I have on this. And then we'll get into how I've grown, further reading. So I guess going back to the drive, there is the ABS PDF on how to grow begonias from seed, which, I don't know, we can pull up. I'm just gonna kind of go over, and I do have some examples that are currently going. And then I think, so.
Where's, or, you said I was.
If you go back to that folder, that document was in, there's the begonias from seed PDF. Although I'll email it all to you, I'm just kind of gonna go, I don't need the notes for it. So a lot of times for mine, I just like to reuse these kind of like deli salsa clear plastic containers with like a clearish lid. Here's another example of something I tried out. It was like a little fruit tray, something. I was like, oh, I can use that. Or I've used like cupcake.
Yeah, cupcake ones are good too.
Like yeah, I'm like, I can save all that crap. And I just use fresh, new potting soil, like my ProMix. Don't use, or you can use like whatever your preferred peat-based potting soil is. Don't use one that already has fertilizer or like worm castings or stuff. You don't really want any extra nutrients because that's just gonna encourage algae growth before your plants even germinate. They don't really need any nutrients when growing fruits until you're moving them into their separate little pots or something. So I've done it from just plain perlite. This time around, I've read somewhere they're like, oh, put some vermiculite on top. So I did that on these, and it was fine. So I do have some very new sprouts going in here. I got some seeds from Maggie Hellas. She's a member out in Seattle. She grows a lot of rare terrarium begonias, and she does do a lot of seed creation. And she sells them. I'll see if I can pass along her current list of availability if you guys want to try buying seeds from her.
So how long does it take before they sprout?
These ones, the one I think sprouted within a week, the other ones maybe took 2 weeks. Sometimes they can take up to a month or 3.
Now, are you putting them under any kind of light?
Yeah, these are under my grow lights.
Regular begonia.
Or you can, if you have a sunny windowsill, you can put them in front of a sunny
So
windowsill.
even with this on the top?
Yeah, it's getting plenty of.
And then how long before you typically move them out there?
So, these were my stadia seedlings. I started long ago. I've already pulled out ones that were much bigger. So these are like the ones that I got shaded out. They've actually used up.
They start out real little babies, don't they?
Yeah, you almost have to use this. These ones are the first to sprout. These ones are a little bigger.
Okay.
The other ones you can just like barely see. So usually when they get big enough and like their leaves are about to touch the lid, that's when I start thinning. I take out the big ones and thin out the little pots.
So how long was that in there?
I started the seeds.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so
A year and a half.
there was a bunch, and like I already pulled out, these are like the runs that I think
So maybe
germinated late, they just germinated later, they got kind of crowded out by the bigger ones, I pulled out the bigger ones, so they're now starting to take off.
Okay, so
I haven't
maybe a
really
year
done-
ago, you did, or half year, 6 months, a year?
Yeah. And then these do have the date, so these are starting at the end of May.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we see a little.
And then these guys were the old seeds, I also just decided to throw in, but they have not. I mean, maybe give them another month or so, and then I'm just gonna use the soil for something else, but.
Now, you have the soil damp when you put it in?
Yeah, so you wanna, and this is another thing, like, even with like, you're starting with propagation from leaves, sometimes, you want like a little bit of, what's condensation, like the small dots of condensation on the side is fine. If you're getting like huge droplets on the lid, I will take it off and like wipe off that. Just so it's not like raining back down on your new seedlings and like, so, yeah, it's just like damp soil like you would start for propagating, I guess, kind of.
Have you ever tried regular seed starter or anything?
Yeah, you could use like the Jiffy, which is just basically,
I brought like.
I don't think, just make sure it doesn't have any kind of fertilizer added to it. Don't use Miracle-Gro potting soil.
Okay.
Don't use the Fox Farms stuff, because that has like fat slime and whatever.
Yeah. The Fort Worth Botanic just uses regular pumice.
Yeah, okay.
It's, whatever, yeah. And then for leaves, they use fine vermiculite. For leaves starting for this as well.
Oh, okay.
But I was wondering, have you ever tried, so the African violet people, when they start a leaf and they propagate it or whatever, they get teeny tiny violets, and then some of them have this process where they pick it up and put it back down into there, and it stimulates it to make it grow faster. Yeah, it stimulates it to make it go faster, so you might wanna try moving them around, right?
They're so like tiny, I mean, obviously they're not ready to be picked up, I'm gonna.
Well, they might take the whole clump, right? Pick it up and put it back down. But there's this whole process, like, kind of going through the African violet
Yeah,
society.
like I don't like to touch them until maybe they get like minimum, like at least that big.
So what they do is they'll like pick that up and put it right back down.
It's like using a small little spoon kind of thing, or
Or like little
Popsicle
little
sticks.
tweezers or something that won't damage it, or just like a chopstick and kind of pick it up and then put it right back down. And it's supposed to, it stimulates it.
like the roots or something.
Yeah, it makes it grow faster. So typically they try to get, their plant to grow within like a year. And some people can do it way faster because they manipulate it like this. So I was wondering if you would try it or something like that. You might want to try
So
it.
anyways, they have, the Maggie Policies, I think she's very good at stuff, I think she does kind of check to make sure the seeds appear viable, and I think she's probably tested them like a batch on her own. And I really only got, I guess I got a bunch of that, the other ones were some of those were like a dozen or like 20 seeds, but I mean, they all but like they've stayed the size for like the past month, so I don't know, I tried moving them under different like color lights to see if that would help, I don't know.
It could be that there were.
And these were the ones that sprouted first, so these have been the most vigorous, so I don't know. I mean, they've got plenty of moisture, I don't know how to get them more. I mean, I could try moving up to the windowsill, see if they respond better to natural light. Yeah, so that's what I mean, I guess you all know how that, I just brought these eggs, they were flowering, like, to like, show male, female flowers, or like, I think you guys know all that. So I guess you've got the
Yeah.
seeds,
Yeah, they're all labeled,
Which-
on the-
past, I don't think ABS is, they want the people sending in the seeds to kind of do this to test their viability. I don't know if collect the distributor of ABS seeds necessarily, because like when in the past, I haven't had that. Like some have had really great germination, like some, like I had like no germination on some of the seeds I got from ABS, but that was like a couple of years ago, so I don't know.
We never,
If there's a quality control, but
Yeah, after the germplasm, tour.
Yeah.
I started, kind of working on a design for like the same kind of machine they had to like do the sorting.
oh yeah.
Just 'cause that seems like a really good way to just easily, funnel seeds in and it comes out and sorts itself.
Yeah, I just don't know if you can make anything that can handle like begonia size seeds.
So that worked that was for the seeds.
The one she had there?
I think so. I think it was for the other bigger seed stuff. I don't.
That's what the plastic one was for, the one on the back there.
know.
Because the one in the front, it's at a certain angle and.
Well, I think that just separates the shaft from like the papery ovary. I don't know if it can actually sort test to see if they're actually like the viable fully
Well,
formed seeds.
that's why I was asking her about the weight.
Oh.
So based on the weight, you set an angle and the machine's supposed to vibrate the bottom of it and that's how it moves it. So that's something I was thinking about, but, yeah, as far as, the viableness, I haven't really looked at that, so that's something we have to do ourselves.
Just have a general pre-warning. I mean, hopefully they're maybe.
so did you see a difference when you did the seed that some rolled and some stayed? When you
Yeah, I did. The one I opened up, yeah, I told you, the ones that rolled, there was some that immediately just easily just rolled down, and that's what I got in here. And then you can still, there's still some like specks stuck on the paper.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, that's just like refreshing harvested pods. If you've been holding on this pod for 2 years, they may not be viable anymore,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
So we know that those are pollinated seeds or pollinated.
Yeah, these were theoretically were properly
mules or
pollinated. I don't know if they're 2 years old, they may not, or more, they may not be good.
Yeah, so, I have all the seeds here, some tools that you can use to sort, I have a hand length. If you want to actually like look further, there's a little tweezer that you can use if you want to place or pick up a specific seed or something. I've been using these to kind of use it as a flat plane to scrape things. Some water to spray the seed down before you close it. This is vermiculite. And some other interesting things. Dollar store, fill it up with vermiculite, put a couple seeds in there. There's a hole in there for airflow, you can cover it if you want. And it's totally clear. So, yeah, so these were $4.
Did you use those egg things with any, they don't, like, is that classic? You having the same issues with like, like we had with our dollar store bowls sometimes?
It shouldn't, but I don't know. I haven't done this with begonia seeds. I use these for cactus seeds.
Okay.
Just because it has a lot of room at the top, so that there's a lot of room for air movement. Also, it lets me keep it in there longer. But no, I haven't tried these with begonia seeds. Regular egg containers work just as good. Containers also at the dollar store. They're not gonna last you as long, but they are totally clear. They don't have stickers or anything. This one was just a random idea, also dollar store. It has holes at the top. It's a pepper shaker or a salt shaker. But it is gonna be a little hard to get out when you're done.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would say about that one. But yeah, just.
Okay.
You got extra deli containers from my recycling? That I
Yeah,
saved?
I brought a bunch.
Okay, more.
Plastic sheets,
So
yeah.
there's only like a dozen or so, or 2 dozen of each seed, of each species or whatever. So do you have to kind of split those up?
Yeah, I can look and count them. I didn't count them.
I got I don't know, if, like, I've got extra sheets of paper if we wanna carefully dump them on the papers and
Yeah.
everyone kind of like picks up a little finger
Yeah.
tip. pinch
Well,
or
that's
something.
why I kind of just like, you can spread them out with the straight edge
Okay.
for that, and that should help a little bit.
Or if anyone just wants to take their seat home because you're afraid your things might flip
Yeah.
in your car, I've got extra of these things and you
Oh,
can make.
there's well over, there's probably like.
Okay,
50
they've got it. I just was wondering because like when I thought you said you only got, yeah, because when I got hers it was like 20 seats.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, which is like nothing. Okay. And I got comics and vermiculite too, if y'all want.
Yeah, so just pick your tools of choice.
And I've got masking tape and marker for labeling.
I was
So-
so mad I had more containers and like a couple egg ones and more seeds that I was gonna bring, and I have no idea where all that is.
Oh, geez.
That's a good answer, like doing sleep.
Yeah.
That's just a
And
mix
it
of
was
various
non-trigonometry seeds.
potting soil-ish
Okay.
thing.
Like,
I know
Oh, like
Like
the
common yeah, they're yellow.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Some-
these are all from last year, and then I don't remember what these are actually called.
Are those like, they get tall?
No, they're short and they're small, they almost look like clovers, like,
Is it a native? What's that?
no, well, I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be here, which is. Right.
Yeah.
They go down
Every year.
It's really old, it was sitting in my basement, but it says it's milled sphagnum moss seed starter.
I think there are some people that use like sphagnum for seed starting, I just never have.
I think it would be really,
So I thought I might try it in one, just
Unless it's like really funny.
I was sort of like, I'm gonna try it and see what I find.
So what are our choices?
Oh, yeah, so,
U503, Formosa, semperflorens. Oh, these weren't like Oxyloba, Humanii, Deliciosa.
this is guadensis.
So you didn't get like the super rare new ones, these are just kind of.
They never notified
Yeah, I
me when
heard.
they got those in, so we lost out.
Alright, so, oh, is this one not Phil?
Oh, yeah, I guess. so.
Reniformis.
reniformis. I have them from I have, so now these are old, but I'm pretty sure these are Richard Sienna and Trigii.
You're gonna try them out?
Yeah.
We wanna practice sorting. Clear off the old stuff. So we can break these open. But see, like those look super fine. I don't think those are fertilized. See how those just like easily just like roll down like balls. So like, and that's stuff what I thought didn't look. They're just sticking that together. So
Alright, so that's the,
That-
might work, okay.
for the clear cut.
So we had this really super, I was like really specific about this like folding sequence that we did. And so I took a picture of it because we had.
Oh, like a
training.
triangle.
So what
Okay.
they did was they made it into a triangle and you folded the two sides to do the same thing that you were doing, which is to capture it so that it wouldn't just roll out, right? And so we made it into this little envelope and then we take it.
Squad
So
dance.
everything was folded in.
I'm not good when I was just like regular paper.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just regular.
I mean,
I'm looking up how they look.
So what he did was he had
No, no.
paper and then he cut it into
Um,
squares and then we did.
Yeah, I just took a couple.
So now you only need like a half inch of soil or something.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like, 3/4 of an inch, I guess is what I use.
Is this the stuff that Darren brought in?
No, it's,
But that's-
it's,
I have plants, I have Pro Mix HP.
Great seats, all right, no, go right ahead. So I thought I would try different things and then see what seems to work best.
I'm gonna try this, and I'll tweak a little bit, I'm gonna try these Vegemite seeds. Cause they said in 6 months, you can.
What, was this the dredge eye that I opened earlier?
No, that was a mystery one.
Do you want your mystery one too?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, if you're doing like this stuff, do you wet it down before you put it?
Yeah, I would spray it
Spray it, okay.
moist, so it's kind of evenly moist and kind of like you're doing leaf cuttings in there to that level of moisture.
Is that?
And then again, if you see tomorrow, there's a ton of big water droplets on the side or the lid, I like them off. I mean, they haven't germinated.
I take a look at it, help yourself, yeah.
It's just kind of sitting in So everyone, you're welcome to use as much of this VFC as you want. I'm just gonna sprinkle over it.
I have a mystery Dragii that came up as a seedling. And the original, like, parent one died, so I don't have that. I think it's my bison, but I can't think of it.
And then how do you labeling, like tape or?
I have like. I do that on like, I try to do like a container, not a lid, sometimes my lid swaps. So I put the species name and then like the date you started for them if you wanna. Some people keep like journals of like what date they started, date they first saw them sprouted.
So are we testing these first?
If
Just
you
kinda-
want, just because I'm not sure, there's extra paper over there.
This is what then.
So maybe write on the paper what it is, so other people will know what it is if they're gonna grab some.
So this one, tried it out and seemed okay?
Yeah, I got quite a bit. I mean,
I don't know, I'm just.
they're honestly just so small that I got a good amount here, and then I just pour that into there.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, it's so hard to like, so, yeah, if you
I
want to
mean, you
make
could
like a
have
separate
it.
piece of.
I bought that for
Oh,
this.
okay, size. And maybe we write on paper what it is.
And
then like people.
I
can
don't
kind of,
generally
like,
use that for
take
seed. I use that for seedlings
and
more.
then you kind of-
Yeah. So like.
I like, you can tell in here, like I tried to spread them out, and it was like, oh,
That's all it was.
So that's just for me, like, so that's the same
It's,
thing.
okay, I'm gonna try.
So Elizabeth, what is which one of these seeds is a,
Is what?
is something better, the seeds?
I don't know.
Does this just pull up or
No,
is it
it's-
twist?
I didn't remember.
Oh, I'm fine.
So one of the other ones that I got from Janet was a 062. It's really pink. Really nice.
Super pink. Oh, is that one sort of have a nickname for it too, or it's been?
I don't know.
No, I think I remember that, yeah, there is a pink one that's in the early numbers, isn't there?
It's, the one she sent me, is way pinker, it's like, looks like that.
Oh, why is it not being pulled up? Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's super pink, and it's like one of the first ones that rooted, and it's super like easy. because it's been sitting outside now for a while, so.
Oh, so you just have it outside?
Yeah, I just, well, I rooted them, yeah, I put them in kind of wet, and then it's like so humid here, so I just make sure that they're wet every day, right? But these all rooted, like this one's been
This is the
outside.
503.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I would say just pour them out. Pour them all out on there so people.
Okay.
And I was working on two.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, and then whatever's
she sent it.
left over, we can pour them back in there.
So I have 4 of them started. And if they're tall, so I'm gonna start cutting back and get machine on them, and cutting them. But I think this is a good one for us to try to sell.
Yeah, okay. So you're right, it's just so it's like.
Yeah, I mean, that's Canadian, is that Canadian dollars, is that what you're saying?
I guess
So
take
it's
it.
the exchange.
Um,
35,
Yeah,
30, something like that, maybe. As Canadian is left, the weight is worth less than the here.
yes, at least right now.
Yeah, yeah, at the time, at the very moment. But anyway, it's super, what she
Yeah, you
sent
wanna
me,
use those?
some of these other pictures, they're like not very good, what she sent me is super cool. So I'll take some pictures and post them on the Facebook page, but I have them.
Or how are you gonna separate?
ones.
Are you gonna put all one in there, or are you gonna do,
I thought we were gonna do that.
or are you gonna, or how are you gonna label?
So I'm just gonna do more.
Yeah.
But I'll just keep.
I think Sherry will be
Thanks for getting these seeds. So now what are we doing for these? We're having to, just sprinkle a tiny, oh, this one has a lot, Deliciosa. I have run.
Yeah, I think you just kinda gotta do a,
Semper
so see, you can get like about 20, but there's so many, you can almost do like 2, you know.
I'm gonna do the Deliciosa, there's more seeds.
I mean, we should have enough each for all of us to do it. Fingertip.
Janelle, did you happen to look for those little, bubble bowls at Walmart? Walmart has 12-inch bubble bowls.
I did, but not ours.
Specifically for plants, or they're like salad bowls?
No, they're, decor bowls
They're in
the home decor
yeah, I
craft
did not
area.
see any at ours, but the one I'm at is a smaller Walmart.
So when I went to the convention, that like the Walmart 12-inch bowl or whatever is what everyone had there. I mean, not
The Walmart?
but a lot of them have.
Oh, those are bigger than the Dollar Tree ones?
They're like,
Wider.
real big,
And they're taller.
yeah, and they're almost round and they have the
How much are they? Like a couple?
$12 to $15, they're not that much, they're big.
Oh, but you have to buy 2 of them.
No, there's one at a time. Came back and ate right here.
So here is.
Yeah, but you have to buy 2 to make a bubble.
No, it's three-quarters of a circle with a round over the top.
Oh, like a fish
You would make
bowl.
a snowman.
Oh, it's like a fish, it's like a fish bowl that you're in the bowl? Oh, okay.
It's
It's like, so it's glass or it's plastic?
It's glass.
Okay.
With
So
a
it's
little-
a decorative fish bowl kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're fairly cheap, right? And then in the African Violet Society, one of the guys did a terrarium class and he used, there's a clear shoebox that's acrylic plastic. And he grows in that and they don't have any problems with affecting the way the plants look. So that one might be a good one to try too. So Walmart, it's a bubble bowl and then there's a clear acrylic shoebox. So this one's like, holding like what you do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you want a sheet of paper or,
Yeah.
because we can form out and we'll label the sheet.
So this is delicious.
Yeah, so we did it with the 503. Slid them to the bottom, or okay, the bottom ones are good.
All of them, just dump the whole thing in here?
Dump it on like the top half, so then we can like do the little test down. And we can always like put them back in the bag later.
So I'll put this back into this little glassine envelope. There's nothing really rolling, is there?
Well, there's one, yeah, there's some that are, and you can kind of tell them are golden, and that's like reddish red, and like, see, like, those are just like little flags, so you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of, $95.
Yeah, you have to use a small one.
Oh, the smaller ones, yeah, it's good.
I can send a link to everyone too if they want. There's these little light up magnifiers.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of a loop that we use in the African Violet Society to find lights. Right, because they're tiny, lights are tiny, right, but it's a really cool little, and it's only like 11 or 12 bucks. And they're like this big, right, and they have like 3 different magnifications and light and a light too, so it shines a light on it, so it's kind of cool.
Oops, sorry.
So, Darren, do you have a programming plan for next month?
Not just yet. We have no idea.
Oh, yes. I can see it. Well, I'm not gonna bug it. I mean, I can reach out to him, but he's like new job, so he may not
I haven't seen him
have
at he wasn't at the Bruegel, usually he's there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, but I think, like, sounds like he's got like a long commute to his new job
I was disappointed we didn't get to go in and see, and I was disappointed we didn't get any.
Yeah, I kind of wish it like maybe said like emailed us a week ahead, oh, by the way, there's some,
Yeah.
like, you can't get into the actual greenhouses. Oh, well. We should reschedule or something.
It would be nice to, get some cuttings.
That would be cool.
And what if we could have a meeting there, get cuttings, whatever, that would be really cool. I don't know if she would go for that though.
I just have a feeling like they don't want us to bring in a lot of foreign cuttings because they don't know if it has bacteria or blight or fungus on it. I mean, even if we're just in there. And it's not super effective though, it's like spray water.
So if we request cuttings from Fort Worth, tell me when we're gonna do that, and I can heads up Janet, and she can let them know that she wants to work on those cuttings. Right? And she-
Okay, so I'll let you know when I'm sending them the email.
Like when you're asking for them, yeah, let me know, and I'll ask her if she can do cuttings for us.
So do they have a list of what they have, or do you just kind of say this is something I'd like and see? if
They have this, and I had an old version of it. I don't have it anymore, but Janet sent me a list and I shared it with Elizabeth
Okay.
of
Well,
what.
that was just like, that's the section she cares
That's the
for.
section that she cares for.
So it's only like a few dozen.
Yeah, but it's the cane species, so if you like cane species.
I have an old like sales list of what they had on the sale a couple years ago, so I have a lot. I mean, but basically they have like 75, 80, 90% of species, right? I mean,
They have a lot. I mean,
they're not likely to give us cuttings of the newer, rarer species.
Yeah, like,
But even more, so like the terrarium ones that, whatever.
but, you know, like, I could text Don too, and just say, hey, Don, we just requested for our thing, can you send me some really cool terrarium stuff too? And, cause I remember when I was there, like, Don would just be in his own little world, and people would come from the societies, and I'd be like, give them Enderlid, right, because Enderlid's one of the rare, almost extinct ones, right? And we were propagating it, and we had like 20 of them, and I'm like, let's give some of these plants to the societies, and that's the whole point, right? Isn't that the whole point, if you wanna spread it around, give it to all the societies, right? So, but, you know, he was just kind of in his own little world, he wasn't thinking about stuff like that, but when you asked him, he would go, oh, yeah. So, it was good to like bring it up when it was like germinating to what was going on at the time, right? So I think that they're really open to doing stuff like that, it's just, are they busy with something else, is it, right?
They've already moved into the new greenhouse, right? Oh, they haven't moved yet? When is that supposed to happen?
I thought they were gonna share the conservation greenhouse, which is the orchid greenhouse, but, yeah, that hasn't happened at all. I heard that it was gonna happen, built in a new greenhouse.
Oh, so it hasn't even.
So they have,
I thought it was something that was like happening this year, but then.
they were gonna share it, but, you know, Janet would know for sure, she's taking care of that stuff and no one said anything.
What else is open?
So,
503.
Do all of them.
yeah.
I like kind of seeing what people eat. Right, what does that do? Right? Yeah, that was good. So like, it seems like these ones, like these canes that have these flowers like this, it seems like almost all of them have seeds, right, when they're ready, right?
Those haven't been pollinated. I mean, they all have the ovaries, but they haven't been pollinated yet.
Yeah, but like, do you notice, well, when they're outside and stuff, that it just seems like they all try and seed pods that dry that?
No, because they work on them. I mean, sometimes they will stay dry. Actually, they're non-pollinated, they tend to fall off, I think.
Yeah.
The thing is, if they're pollinated, they usually, within a week, tuck back like that.
Oh, wait.
So they're almost, I forget what this grass is called, but they're almost parallel, like, sometimes these bigger canes are too heavy, it doesn't go all the way up, but a lot will go almost straight.
So there's pedicel, and the main one is peduncle, right? So that's pedicel, I think. Yeah. So it just turns back.
They flip up when they're actually successfully pollinated.
Look for petal drop.
The petal drop, yeah, the ovary tuck, I guess not all of them always do, but I find like 90% of the time that they're just like telltale. That's one, so I saved the tuber over winter and then replanted it. And cleaned it. Yeah, it's just like a, to be honest, whatever hybrid. Just like, I got it at street.
Oh, just regular.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind getting a little stir of that. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You can do this.
Yeah, so it's a nice yellow. So see, that's the ovary on that one.
Yeah.
And then that's the yellow.
Yeah, because the yellow one, it's hard to find yellow flowers, it's a lot now. So I feel like those are ones, if you can get them blooming, if people are looking for stuff yellow, they'll be like, oh, yeah, the yellow one.
Where's the red forest?
It's right different second.
I think this works better to come out and pick up some of the fingertip, because I can spread them before. It's like, I think when I did these, I was just carefully trying to pour them out of the envelope around here, and that's how I just got those ones.
It's in like a paper that's,
What?
well, it's just, it's like.
Oh, it's like two,
Not finding, like I
It's like
said,
flip it over.
yeah.
Oh, delicioso, it's kind of like croissant. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, this one doesn't really have enough for the front all.
Oh, didn't like that.
Tiny attention.
Yeah. It's all for kind of.
But you'd be surprised, like, probably like 3 dozen seeds.
Really?
Well, or at least maybe only 2 dozen. Oh, if anyone wants any of these bigger stout eye seedlings, you can dig it out.
The what?
That
The stout eye
That one has
seedlings.
the yellow.
This one has the yellowish orange flowers, yeah. It's an African species. You are welcome to take a look at it.
I'm very proud of myself because I the terrarium so bad.
Yeah, the electric is pretty good.
You want a little zip off for a left or the other?
Oh.
I guess you have a container, you can almost just plant it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like, oh, is there something? Here, maybe like. Is that take it out?
I almost got it out completely out.
Oh, I have 2 in there too.
I am a hands-in person.
Which is not always the case. Let's see, they sent me a video.
And the key is just to have it on top, right?
Yeah, you're not, they should just be on the surface. Any kind of like small seeds, even like poppy seeds, any small seeds, like begonias are always some of the smallest, but even the other ones, those are usually on the surface, so you cannot.
Can I use some of your soil? Yeah.
So yeah, be careful when you place them in your cars, maybe put them on the floor where they can't, so that they're not likely to flip. Because if they kind of flip, they can mix up in the soil, like get buried and not gonna germinate. I did get inspired to make plant bingo cards, because there's like apps or something you can use to generate your own.
Yeah, we have something out there too.
Plant what, bingo cards?
So what do their bingo cards look like?
No, it's just regular bingo, but the price.
Oh, no, I was thinking like trying to make it, at first I was like plant or like begonia Jeopardy, but then I'm like, if we have new members who like aren't that, don't know a whole lot of begonias and like would be, you know, all the begonia expert, you know, people who grow up would like win the Jeopardy.
Fair.
But then I'm like, I still want like people to be able to like learn stuff about the begonias while playing the game. So I was thinking like the begonia cards, instead of like numbers on it, it's like a photo of begonia and then like the name of the species. Or like it could be a begonia part, like the stamen or whatever, the
Right.
sepals. And so like that's what you call out. So then like, even if like they don't know what it is, they can like find it, read it on their card, and just kind of like seeing it, they might learn a little. But then I'm like, wow, this, like, someone has to really go in and make a whole bunch of, like, but there are like apps and programs, I guess you can do things like that. Well, that'd be fun.
Pretty
for the group or, maybe we could get like the draft room, which is the Baker's Acres family bar.
Oh,
Is that hosted, it could be like a fundraiser or just a community recruitment.
So what we did was, so I went to a different society and they did bingo, it was completely different. So, and I thought it was a little stressful, the last one we went to, but the one that I went to that was really fun. You just play regular bingo, but every time they called a ball, they read a fact about African violence, right? Like when they started or whatever, and things like that. So you could have like fact cards and just read it, and just, it was just a bingo game and you just said something every time. And then they passed out the sheet at the end that had all the facts on it, so people would be able to bring them home and read them or whatever.
That one's not open.
What?
This one.
No,
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's not on the paper yet.
yeah.
Oh, they are? Oh, they're just hard.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 503 left.
Yeah, I already did the thing of that.
Anybody want seats to take home? Ours is, Black Eyed Susans and anonymous pink hoops.
Yes.
Hoops. They, I was telling Elizabeth, they look almost like pink clover, like that's about the size. But they're like pretty bright.
You mean mimosa?
No, but she's saying it's like a,
I'm guessing it's like.
it's not like a type of onion, like ornamental.
No, it was like a flower, like a proper flower.
Yes.
It's like a pom-pom poof flower.
Yeah,
And I know I'll have more for during my next talk. But I'll also have, stargazers, I think they're, no.
I will have a bunch of native seeds if anyone.
Yeah, those, and I'm gonna have milkweed too, because I saw.
Guadaluensis?
Guadalupe.
Is that for Guadalupe or something else?
No, it's, Wendy's.
Oh, these are Chinese or.
Well, that is not.
That's the only one that I know that looks.
Yeah,
Gumfrina, it's Gumfrina, which looks kind of like clover. But they get kind of big, right? Can be a pretty.
these were like this big. So,
So
I don't know.
there's different kinds of stuff, but yeah, it looks like. Does that look familiar?
Has
They're more straight.
y'all gotten the Guadaluensis yet?
Go ahead and take it.
No, just, there's very little, so I don't know like that many.
Guadaluensis?
Yeah.
Kind of mulberry too, right? Kind of arches or whatever. Okay, do you have a pot, or do you want, just me to wrap up, pull one out and wrap it up in some paper towel?
No, I did not bring
a pot.
I mean, I have a small, like little zip.
I can,
Has that been outside and all?
it's been outside, in a very short morning light. So it's only in morning light,
I got the rest of the.
11 in the morning, but it's, they're all rooted. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was glue that I pulled. Here, you want to take the pot and I'll just put my little.
Oh, so you have to.
Yeah. She sent me a box of cuttings. Orniensis.
Thank you.
Orniensis, do you want one?
If you wanna take some tea? No, I said a tea bag, but I totally forgot about it.
Oh. I looked over there.
She really wanted
Oh.
this.
Yeah, they put stuff over there.
I cannot.
And I can always
So
get
if you would like some tea, you know,
Oh, no, it's
Okay,
okay.
I guess so I can go home and make compost dinner, so. I'll have all that to drink. Do you want any
I also have Homo Gyna.
It's a kayak sport.
It's a little yellow thing.
But not tall.
And Polioensis, which is very cool, looks like five.
It looks like that.
Oh, I think, yeah,
That one's really
I
nice.
do know.
So I can,
Yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
yeah, I have to update my list, and like I said, I'm gonna reach out, see if I can ID all these other ones. And maybe. Because I'm happy to share everything, I just, people, I'm sure are not very interested in ones that we don't have an ID. And, like I said, the really red one is 062, and I can bring that, one. Yeah, I wanna, it's really.
Did you send these?
Really cutties.
Oh,
Yeah, and so I can bring cutties as well, because they're all riveted. Because she sent these cutties, and then I just pop them off the system, so.
Yeah, you got that a month ago, right?
Yeah, but right after the last meeting, right, the next day or something like that. I have to head out. But I'll see if I can. I figured it out.
Yes, well, that was the one that's there, there's a little six. So, you want to try it?
Oh, the Kumania? This one.
Oh, I
On
think
the
that's,
sheet.
oh, I just placed them, so I don't know.
I think it was the right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, D.
yeah, I see it.
I didn't even shake anything out, so that's.
Well, I'd say, okay.
So you had, Masson.
Yeah, it's around here.
So, the rest of these back
Yeah, I
in,
gotta put tape over that.
so we put the rest of these back in or adding them to?
Yeah, so here's the boost. Aaron, do you want like extra seeds, like we'll put them back in the envelope? I guess this one will make it in an envelope. Well, I'll take some.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to try taking the rest, there's really
Yeah.
nothing else to say. You know, you and my little guy, but.
Did you go to that?
These are, we're putting the seeds back in, here's, yeah.
Oh, this is like plum keepers. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that was like, you guess, some direction, like, I don't know.